The threats of game emulation. Are you worried enough? These are the words of Irdeto, the company behind Denuvo. Basically, what they are saying is that we just had a deal with Nintendo. So from now on, we will join them in bullying the gamers who emulate decade-old games. The craziest thing is that they released an ebook about the dangers of video game emulation in the middle of all the chaos they are facing. The time when they are taking L's back and forth. Just look at what happened to Hogwarts Legacy. The entire game was cracked within 7 days. And yes, it has the Denuvo anti-piracy system. And now that Capcom has removed Denuvo from the Resident Evil Village, this game too was cracked within a month of release and had a shitload of glitches and issues on top of that. Well yeah, Resident Evil 4 Remake still has Denuvo software, and it's not cracked yet, at least currently, but we all know how this will end, don't we? Currently this game is fresh and new, but sooner or later it will be cracked. Let's talk about the emulation stuff. I mean, how many times do we have to teach this lesson to Nintendo and others? Because they think emulating the games is destroying their company. But that's not true at all. Denuvo wants them to believe this so they could sell their shitty software to them. But emulating video games can also help in the preservation of their company. Let's look at it this way. Nintendo released a game like 30 years ago and no longer creates it, nor does it manufacture the console that ran that game. So now tell me how the people who want to play that game will play it. What's the most effective and smartest choice here? Well, first, you can obviously go around and look for that game on eBay or something. But remember, the game is no longer manufactured, so demand will never be met. And second, sellers will make the profit on the games of Nintendo while Nintendo still won't get a penny out of it. It's not rocket science to understand that, Nintendo. When people emulate an old video game, they might not be paying money for it, but neither the emulator developers nor the publishers are charging them money to profit, at least in most of the cases. The more people play these old games, the more memorable they will become. Gamers are helping preserve the classic games, which are again not being manufactured anymore. And I trust that there are so many video games that it's impossible for Nintendo to manufacture them all on demand. Their latest console, the Nintendo Switch, is bombing and making them the bucks they want. And yeah, the argument is different for Nintendo Switch emulators, because the console is still in development, and emulating the Switch exclusive games on other platforms might not be a good idea. Nintendo wasn't always like this. They used to cool off and chill with video game emulation, but suddenly now they have become villains of it. They sue and file lawsuits against the people who were just trying to play an old game that was probably released when they weren't born. Suing your own fans for such a thing is absolutely crazy, especially for a company like Nintendo, which was saved multiple times by their most loyal fans. Now the question is, will Denuvo succeed in stopping video game emulation? The answer is absolutely not, because they just can't. There are tons of emulators for almost all the consoles released before the PlayStation 4, and how will they even counter it? They just can't put their anti-piracy software in bit-sized games. Or maybe they will try it the Nintendo way, by harassing the people who were just trying to play Super Smash Bros. There are not many options in the market besides Denuvo, and that's why they are still getting clients. But how long before companies will have enough of them and will just start using something else? Unless Denuvo creates a groundbreaking software that can match the Russian hackers who are constantly trying to throw dirt on their name by cracking their games within a month of release. So that's it, folks. I'm sure you've emulated some games too, but you better not tell because Nintendo is watching. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are actually enjoying the content. Finally, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.